Hey y'all, so today I'll be showing you how you can make this Valentine's chocolate snow globe. I'll show you how to fill the snow globe up, apply the vinyl, make drips using epoxy, and then we're going to work on my lid using my new chocolate mold. It is 2 molds, but you can find them exclusively available on my website. So I am starting with this Valentine's seamless design. It's from Amanda Ashley Creative, and I have it linked below. I'm also using this 20-ounce jar handle snow globe, and it comes with 2 plugs. And I'm also using some solution from Adhesive Apothecary. I used regular levitation solution with this, and I kind of mixed in some brown acrylic paint just a little bit to give it that color. It's not that vibrant, but it does look like chocolate to me. Also, if you are someone who loves using funnels, check out Cowbell Customs funnels. She has 2 different sizes you can use to fill your snow globes up, but most times if I'm not using a tip from Adhesive Apothecary, that's what I use to fill my snow globes up. So that's how that turned out. With how cold it has been lately, I'm not worried about taking the air bubble out, because if your snow globe freezes, it needs room to expand, and if it doesn't, then it literally explodes. And so that's just something to keep in mind. That's really why I don't worry about air bubbles. But I'm gonna cut this vinyl to fit around my snow globe, since it can only fit around the middle because it's kind of curved on the top and bottom, as you can see. That's typically what I do, so I fold it back. I use my Crafty Cow hand turner to go ahead and apply everything and get it lined up, and then I just use my squeegee tool to smooth everything down. I typically only cut out a strip just to fit the middle perfectly, since that's really all I can do for this one. Not really, but you could probably figure other things out, but that's just what I really love to do. And then whatever is left over, I kind of cut it off around the handle, and then this is how it turned out. I also used striping tape. You can use striping tape, but most times I just use vinyl that is I cut into tiny strips to use it as striping tape, and I applied 1 strip at the bottom of the cup. That's typically just what I like to do, and I don't apply it to the top because I'm going to be making drips on the top. So to do that, you wouldn't be able to see it, so it would be pointless. But that's how that turned out. But before we go any further, make sure that you like and subscribe. More to come. So after I had my vinyl laid down, I did go ahead and seal my cup just to make sure that my striping tape wouldn't move, so I epoxied it. But now I want to start working with my mold. So I have 2 new molds. One's a chocolate mold and one is a heart box mold, and it matches the seamless design perfectly. With the epoxy that I use 2-part epoxy. So what you want to do is get a measuring cup, some popsicle sticks, or I have this stick from Cowbell Custom. You can find, she has so many Tumbler tools. I use MNG Supply Co epoxy, and I use it 2 parts, so you have to measure it equally and then mix it together. The stick that I use from Cowbell Custom, you can clean it off really easy with a baby wipe. And then the way that I make my drips, I like using flour, but you can also use cornstarch to make it thicker. I always go for a taffy consistency, and then I'm also going to use brown acrylic paint so that I can make it look like it is chocolate. So that's what I use for my drips, but I'm also going to pour this into my chocolate mold really quick, just so that I can kind of do 2 things at once and not have to mix more epoxy. So that's what I'm using right now. I'm gonna go ahead and pour it in, and then I am gonna go ahead and start on my drips. So I always tell people, if you wait a little bit, your epoxy will start to warm up a little bit, and that kind of helps with drips and making it look more authentic. But also with this particular cup, you want to stay below where the lid would screw on at, but you also want to kind of glide everything over as one rather than do drips individually, because that kind of gives it more of a authentic drip look. And then you could let gravity do its thing and it'll make a drip on its own. So I did have to mix more epoxy, the same 2-part epoxy, and I'm going to pour it into this mold now. I used some red mica powder. It really gave it like a really nice shimmery red. It was really vibrant. Recommend using mica powder. And then this is the next day after everything got done drying. So you can see the chocolate. You want to make sure that you're really pushing your epoxy and like move it around so that it can pick up all those fine details. And then I'm molding my heart box, and that's how it turned out. So I did make it have a hole for your straw already. It comes pre-made, so you don't have to worry about doing straw holes this time with this one. And then this is the lid. So I didn't make the lid have a straw hole. It's not really meant to sit on top. It's more just like an extra piece or accessory. But with this one, I did kind of make it hang off to the side so you can see the chocolate inside. So typically that's just what you would do, like to make it look like a chocolate box. You would put the chocolate inside, and then you kind of add the pieces off to the side. But that's how my drips turned out after they got done drying. I think I really love them. I really love them. I really love making my drips this way, and I feel like I'm getting better at it the more that I'm showing everybody how I'm doing it also. Another trick I want to show is that you can also use clay inside some of the smaller molds, like my chocolate pieces or other smaller molds that I have on my website. So I'm using polymer clay to make up more chocolate pieces so that I don't have to keep using epoxy. It kind of kind of cuts down the time also. So that's how that turned out. I have more chocolate pieces now. I have my topper ready, and I'm going to go ahead and start adding the heart box on top. So I'm going to use 2-part epoxy again, the same brand, and I'm going to coat my lid with it, and then also the heart box, just so that I can make sure everything will seal. And it's also, yeah, just seal it as one basically, but it keeps it in place. It's much stronger. And then that same epoxy, I added a little bit of red mica powder again. I'm going to apply it to the bottom of the snow globe just so that I can cover that plug. And I'm also going to use my custom tumbler bottom from Kara's Crafty Corner. It has Karen instructions on the bottom, and then also my business name, so that really helps when it sells, just so that people know how to take care of the cup also. And then now that my lid is dry, I can go back and start adding my chocolate pieces. So I'm kind of using hot glue, but you can use whatever glue you want. You can even use fast set epoxy, or I don't know if UV resin will work, but you can use anything to just get it adhered in. And then yeah, just to get the placement right. And then I'm also going to go back and epoxy it too, so that everything is completely sealed in as one. But that's how it looks. You can add more if you want. You can add less. I also thought my ribbon bow looked really good with it. If you adjusted it, it would fit right around a straw hole also. So there's so many different ways to decorate the lid, but I ended up going with the entire mold itself for Valentine's Day, just so that yeah, so you guys can really see how it looks and how I used it. So I didn't want to leave the ribbon or the bow on it plain, so I did go back and paint it brown also, since that's kind of like the theme of the entire cup. So I just painted it brown, and then after that dry, I'm going to go ahead and start epoxying everything for the final time. So this is how it turned out. I had somebody ask me before about the particular paints that you can use. I think you can use any paint. I've never had a problem with using water-based paint before. Like Adhesive Apothecary has collagen colors that are water-based, and I use those in my epoxy before. Never had an issue. Everything cures perfectly fine. But yeah, you can use any paint really. It really doesn't cause an issue. And another cool thing about this is that the heart lid, since it's so thin, it can bend a little bit if you heat it a little bit. So you can have it bend to whatever shape you want for the lid. If you want it to bend a little bit, it's just totally up to you if you want it like flat and straight, or if you want it to bend. But I thought that was really cool to show really quick. So yeah, this is my final coat of my cup. I want to make sure that you stay below where the lid was screw on at, and then I'm going to also go ahead and seal and coat my topper. By the way, I recommend using 2-part epoxy so much, because not only is it FDA compliant, but it's also food grade. And when you're working with toppers like this, you know somebody's going to be drinking from a cup. It would just be best to go that direction. Even though somebody's not going to actually have it in their mouth, it would just be best to do, because like just safety over everything. So I'm epoxying everything. I'm going to get it placed where I want it. And I know you can't kind of really see it right now, but it still keeps the straw hole open. And then after everything dried, this is how it looks. So I really love the dribs. I love the topper so much. I love the topper. It came out so much better than I was expecting. And I really love the seamless design. I think that you should definitely go check out Amanda Ashley Creative, because she has so many good digital designs. I hope everyone loved this tutorial. I hope you try it out. I hope you go grab my new molds. Make sure that you grab some Kara instruction bottoms from Kara's Crafty Corner. Then I also have pre-made Tumbler Valentine's Day boxes pre-made. If you don't want to make it, I already have it made up, and I'll just ship it as it is, ready to go, so you can just put it on your lid. But thank you for watching.